Edward L. Loper Sr. is a self-taught artist who was born in Wilmington, Delaware in 1916. Over the past 70 years, Mr. Loper's work has captured the hearts of countless art lovers. Recently, Mr. Loper invited us into his home to discuss his career as an artist and a teacher. It is our pleasure to bring you our conversation with this remarkable man.
How did you start out painting? I mean, that's a long time.
I started out painting working for the WPA. You know, people don't like these liberals in the world today, but in those days, the liberals are what saved the United States from becoming communist. And so nobody had a job in this country. Well, most people didn't have a job. Even worse than it is now. And so Roosevelt decided he would find a way to put people to work. And so he put people to work making clothing for poor people and all kinds of other work. And then a man named Holger Carhill, he decided there ought to be something to do with the arts. So he started a thing called the Index of American Design. And the Index of American Design, we made paintings, watercolor paintings, of all the different kinds of antiques that America had made. And we made them so that later people like here would be able to see that kind of work and realize what we as a country had had. I have a book here, Index, and it shows you the different kind of antiques that we work with. See, we made everything. People made firemen's what they put sand in when they put fires out. They have here a fire wagon, a fire hat. In fact, this particular fire hat that's in this book was done by a fellow in our department named Sam Ford. See his name?
Let me hold that up for people just so that they can get a shot at that so they know what we're talking about here. We're talking about this fire hat right here.
Yes. And all of these things were made by Americans. And it saved us from becoming a country where people suffered as much.
Well, I share your view that, you know, liberal may be a dirty word in some circles today, but it takes a balance to run a country properly, and when it gets out of balance, we have what we have today.
Well, when it gets out of balance, then the liberals have to come in and save it.
Yeah, put it back together again. So that
put it back, and then the people who are money drunk and greedy start taking away the money and putting it in their banks and places, and the rest of the people suffer a bit, and then it starts all over again. I stopped working for the Index of American Design, and a fellow named Walter Pyle, who was a nephew of Howard Pyle, the Delaware illustrator, who people had liked very much. He was there working also. So everybody there was not old, real poor people. There were some people who had money, but they were having trouble. And so Walt asked me would I start doing oil paintings. So I started doing oil paintings. We'd work, every day I would work, and I would work at home after a while, and I would go out and paint all over the east side because I was born and raised on the east side of Wilmington. And I would go paint all in that area, and people begin to recognize that it was pretty decent painting, and so I just kept painting, and then my wife died, and I had raised my children, so I decided I'd raise them myself. I wasn't going to let somebody else raise my children. So I raised them, and then I took a job working for an Allied Kid company, and that worked out pretty well. When I first went there, the black people didn't have any jobs they could do that wasn't in water. And so slowly we got them to change that a bit. And we began to get a little bit better jobs during the war. And so I worked for that for quite a while. And then I decided I'd rather do something art all the time. So I got hired by the Delaware Art Center to teach there, and I taught there for 25 years. I left the Delaware Art Center, and then I started teaching in my own studio, and I've been teaching there up until now. I just had a class today. It was quite nice.
And you have had quite a group of students over the years study with you.
I've had quite a lot. Well, the reason they come to me is I've learned something about color that no other painter has been able to do up until now. And so I teach people to paint with colors. Also, my students and we make every square inch another color. So we make paintings that are made out of nothing but colors and lines, and we try to get the light in the pictures to be interesting to look at, and build spaces so that spaces are well arranged and fit the whole surface of the canvas, so the canvas as a whole has something interesting to look at.
And so you're doing it's in a way it's a holistic composition.
Yes.
And I've seen some of your students' work. We had Magda Korn on our program. We did an interview a few weeks ago, and looked at some of her paintings, and it was you could see your influence in her work.
Well, they paint with colors, and the rest of the people who paint, they don't paint with colors, they paint with a color.